You're about to hear something ancient, something that's been whispered through temples, hidden in chants, and protected for centuries, not because it's hard to understand, but because it's powerful. Thoth spoke of it long ago, and today it's time for you to remember it. It's not a complicated ritual. It's a sound, a frequency, one word. When spoken with awareness, it doesn't just make noise, it restructures your entire vibrational field. You only need to do it once, but not casually, not distracted. This isn't just something you say, it's something you become. But before I reveal it to you, you need to feel it. Close your eyes, right now, just for 2 seconds. Bring your attention to your chest. Listen not with your ears, but with your presence. In that stillness, something becomes obvious. There's a silence inside you. And that's where the frequency lives. That's where it's born. That's where it vibrates. Most people never reach this point, not because it's difficult, but because they never learned how to listen. If you speak the sound without presence, without aligning to the vibration, nothing happens. But speak it with awareness. The universe responds, energy moves, reality reshapes. So stay with me. I'll show you exactly how to do it. And once you do, the noise of the outside world won't have power over you anymore. Not fear, not guilt, not chaos, nothing. Thoth said, separate the stone from the spirit with wisdom and care. Everything vibrates, some of it you can see, much of it you can't. But when you understand vibration, you no longer need to push. You move energy without leaving your seat. Let's get clear about something. Your frequency was never left to chance. It was programmed. Your vibration has been shaped from the moment you could speak. Fear, guilt, shame, anger. You didn't invent those states, you inherited them. You were taught to vibrate low, because people who vibrate low, they're easy to control. Think about what society teaches us from a young age. Be afraid of failing. If you feel guilty, that means you're a good person. Anger is wrong but inevitable. All of it compresses your energy, and a compressed field can't expand. As within, so without. You've heard that before, but maybe you haven't really felt it. If fear lives inside you, your world becomes scary. If guilt lives inside, everything feels like judgment. If anger burns inside, you see confrontation everywhere. It's not the world that's reflecting back at you, it's your vibration shaping the world. And here's the loop no one taught you how to break. You feel fear. You think something dark. That thought feeds the fear. You vibrate more fear. You attract more situations that confirm it. The cycle reinforces itself. You think it's life, but it's just vibration. The good news, it can be broken. Science is catching up to what the mystics always knew. The Heart Math Institute found that the heart doesn't just beat, it radiates energy. That energy, when in emotional coherence, extends several feet beyond your body. What you feel isn't just an emotion, it's a frequency you're broadcasting. So if you spend days, weeks, even years vibrating in fear or self-doubt, that's what you're broadcasting. You're tuning your life to that station. And that station plays the same stories, the same kinds of people, the same kind of pain, the same ceiling you can't break through. And maybe you've tried to change it. You've changed your job, your city, your relationship. But the internal story stayed the same. That's because the frequency never shifted. You moved, but your vibration didn't. And here's what nobody tells you. It's not the situation that sets your frequency. It's the emotion you feed while it's happening. Two people can live through the exact same challenge. One feels fear, the other feels curiosity. One contracts, the other expands. Same world, completely different vibration. So no, you don't just think positive. That's surface level. The real power, it's deeper. It's in the force behind your emotions. The engine that's shaping the entire frequency of your being. And that force, it's your words. Not just thoughts, words. What you say shapes your vibration. Not metaphorically, literally. Every word you speak is a frequency made visible through cymatics. Ever seen sand form sacred geometry under sound? That's not magic. That's vibration in action. Sound brings structure to chaos. Now ask yourself if your words can shape grains of sand. What are they doing to your energy field? Every word is a spell, and every spell has power. But here's what separates transformation from noise. It's not the word that matters. It's the energy behind it. You can repeat peace 100 times, but if you're vibrating anxiety, what you're sending out is conflict. You can say I'm grateful, but if you feel empty, your field echoes lack. This is why affirmations don't always work. Because they aren't about repetition, they're about resonance. You have to feel the word, live it, let it vibrate through you. The ancient ones knew this. Words were sacred. They didn't speak unless they meant it. There was no small talk, only intentional sound. Because they understood that words weren't just communication, they were creation. Now take that even deeper. The most powerful sounds weren't spoken, they were chanted. Chanting activates not just your throat, but your breath, your emotion, your intention. It's a full body resonance, a continuous wave. And that wave moves through your energy field like a key unlocking closed doors. But not all chants are equal. Some sounds are ordinary, others are primordial, ancient, protected, passed only to those ready to carry their weight. Because if chanted incorrectly, they don't just fail, they can destabilize you. So why chant instead of speak? Because chanting sustains vibration. It carries intention beyond the moment. It echoes into the subtle layers of your being. But here's the real secret. There is one sound, one vibration, one frequency revealed by Thoth that doesn't need to be chanted 100 times. You chant it once with full presence, and your entire field reorganizes. Just one conscious release of that vibration is enough to shift everything. And we'll get there. But before we do, you need to understand why silence matters. Because the sound means nothing if you don't know how to receive it. Before any sound leaves your lips, before any vibration radiates from your chest, there is a space you have to reach. Not a place you can walk to. A state, a moment, a stillness. That's the true beginning. Silence, not just the absence of noise, but the presence of stillness. The kind of silence that lives in the gap between your thoughts. The pause between your breaths. The still point where you're no longer thinking or trying, just being. Ancient traditions called it different names, but they all pointed to the same thing, the 0 point. Not a location, a frequency, a state of being where you're fully here, not tied to the past, not racing into the future, just right now, the now where vibration becomes pure. Because when you speak from noise, your vibration is messy, fragmented, chaotic. But when you speak from stillness, the vibration is clear, focused, deep. That's why the ancient masters didn't chant in a rush. They sat in silence. They waited until their energy matched the sound. Imagine a lake. If it's turbulent and you throw a stone in the ripples, scatter and crash into each other. But if the lake is calm still, the ripples glide in perfect circles, reaching far beyond what you'd expect. Your vibration is that lake, and your sound is that stone. Chanting from silence isn't about technique, it's about alignment. You don't force the sound, you allow it. You don't speak from your mind, you speak from your center. So now, take a moment, right now. Close your eyes, breathe. Don't try to make your mind quiet, just notice the space between your thoughts. The pause, that's the doorway. Feel that that's the field preparing. That's your energy realigning. That's where the sound will rise from. And here it is, the sound that Thoth revealed. A sound not meant to be repeated endlessly, like a mantra with no meaning. A sound that only needs to be chanted once with full presence for it to shift everything. RA. Yes to RA. Not as a word, as a frequency, a vibration. RA isn't just a symbol from Egyptian myth. It's a vibrational code, the solar current, the sound of pure consciousness. It's the fire of awakening, the light that organizes your entire field. When you chant RA, it's not about your voice. It's about your state. It's about what rises in your chest, in your spine, in your field. You're not speaking RA, you're becoming it. The vibration begins in your breath, moves through your bones, echoes into the space around you. It doesn't just move air, it moves energy. And as it moves, it doesn't just sound beautiful, it remembers who you are. It realigns what was scattered. It harmonizes what was blocked. You'll feel it immediately. First in your chest like a pulse waking up something that had been dormant, then in your skin like a warmth that doesn't come from the outside, and finally in your field as if the very air around you becomes lighter, clearer. This is what the ancients knew. That vibration when aligned doesn't need effort. It doesn't need to be repeated 100 times. It needs presence, because what transforms your field isn't volume or repetition, it's clarity. And the moment RA is chanted with that clarity, your vibration changes. But here's the part people miss. It's not enough to chant RA once, and then go back to scrolling on your phone, back to stress and noise and rushing through life. Because the world is loud, it pulls you back into the noise. If you're not careful, that vibration fades. Not because it failed, but because you stopped feeding it. So how do you sustain it? With small, powerful daily practices. The ancients didn't just chant and leave it there. They built rituals into their lives that reinforced the frequency they activated. Not complicated ones, just deeply conscious ones. First, conscious breathing. Not the shallow kind you do at your desk. I'm talking about breathing like it matters, like you're feeding your nervous system, like every breath is a tuning fork. Close your eyes, inhale slowly, hold it. Exhale with intention. Feel what shifts. Second nature. Your body is wired for it. Your field resonates with it. You don't need a forest, just a patch of grass, the breeze, the sound of birds. Nature has a base vibration of balance, and when you're near it, your field realigns effortlessly. Third, words of power, not slogans, not Instagram quotes. Words that mean something to you. I am clear. I am aligned. My field is light. Say them like you feel them, not from your mouth, from your field. Fourth, visualization. Your mind responds to imagery. Quantum physics even shows that your brain reacts to imagined scenarios almost the same way it reacts to real ones. So close your eyes. Imagine golden light wrapping around your body, cleaning your field, sealing your frequency. These practices are how you keep the light on, how you anchor the RA vibration in your daily life. Because let's be honest, life doesn't stop being life, but your frequency, that's yours to protect. And finally, the most overlooked power of all, silence. Not just as preparation, but as restoration. Silence is a vibration, a high one, a healing one. The reason the mystics loved silence isn't because they were antisocial. It's because they knew that silence recharges your field without effort. It restores you without drama. You don't have to sit in a cave. Just 5 minutes without noise, without screens, without trying to do anything. Let your system breathe. Let your field reset. In that space, your vibration returns to its default state. Calm, aligned, clear. And when you come out of it, the world feels different, not because it changed, but because you did. But even with all this, there's still something that most people forget. One last key to anchoring this vibration permanently. Because here's the truth, your vibration is not just yours. It's constantly in conversation with your environment. And if your environment is chaotic, noisy, full of low-frequency signals, it doesn't matter how high you vibrate for a moment. You'll get pulled down again. That's why the final practice isn't another technique. It's a choice to create a vibrational sanctuary. Now, I don't mean building a temple in the middle of the forest. I'm talking about turning your living space, your room, your desk, your corner of the world into a field that matches your frequency. Because your surroundings matter. They affect you. They shape your energy even when you're not paying attention. Think about it. Have you ever walked into a messy, cluttered room and instantly felt your chest tighten, or entered a space full of natural light and calm music and felt like you could finally breathe? That's not your imagination. That's your energy field syncing with the field of the space. So start small. Keep your environment clean and uncluttered. Clean spaces hold higher frequencies. Let air in. Let light in. Let energy flow. Add intentional elements, soft music, calming incense, natural scents like lavender or sandalwood. These things don't just make your room smell nice. They shift the actual vibration of the space. Use natural materials, wood, plants, stones, crystals. These are not just spiritual aesthetics, they carry frequencies of coherence and grounding. You can even place symbols or objects that remind you of your highest self, not because they're magical, but because they anchor your intention. Your space becomes a reflection of your vibration, and your vibration becomes a reflection of your space. But even that isn't the final step. There's one more thing. The most powerful, the most subtle, the most easily forgotten practice of all. Radical presence. It means you don't wait for the perfect moment. You don't rely on silence or crystals or incense to be high frequency. You learn to hold that vibration in the middle of the mess. When things don't go your way, when people test your limits, when life gets loud, you breathe, you feel your center, and you choose to stay there. Not escape, not fight, just be. That's the real practice. Not chanting once and going back to old habits, but staying anchored, staying present, holding your field, not because it's easy, but because you've remembered who you are. And when you live that way, something shifts. You stop chasing healing, you become healing. You stop waiting for peace, you radiate peace. You stop asking for permission to feel whole, you walk in wholeness. Because now your vibration isn't something you try to control, it's something you live from. And everything responds to that. Your body, your relationships, your path, the universe itself. It's not magic, it's alignment. So if you've made it this far, it means something inside you already knew this truth. I'm just helping you remember. Do this right in the comments. I activated my original vibration. It's not just a sentence, it's a declaration, a commitment to yourself, a signal to the field. And if you want to support this message, help it reach the people who need it, check the first pinned comment. There's a way to contribute directly to this work, to support more content like this and to spread this vibration further. And now, before you go, I've left a special video for you. It's on screen right now. Click it to continue the journey and take your vibration even deeper. Your field has already begun to change. Now it's time to live from that change. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.